Okay.
Cool. So we're recording now?
Yes.
Awesome. And if you guys aren't aware, the voice you just heard was my oldest, who's a little bit camera shy. I'm not really into talking on cameras and things like that. I tended to avoid those things like the plague. Having knowledge of those things is kind of interesting because I was very technology in my youth, and now as I've gotten older and they've started putting all the technology in the restrooms, I've learned to hate it. I mean, I want to be able to wash my hands and to do the things I need to do without having uh, excessive duress being placed upon me. Anyway, we're supposed to count it all joy, I guess, and that's pretty much what I'm endeavoring to do in everything I do. I'm trying to count it all joy. And believe it or not, the interesting byproduct is love, joy, and peace, which is the beginnings of the fruit of the Spirit, found in Galatians, where it talks about that. I wanted to talk to you today about my trip to Liberty. Fellowship of the Martyrs. I'm sure you've heard a lot of different things, from their cult to it's almost like a Christian utopia to all sorts of things. Well, I don't tend to pay attention to most of that, and it really means very little to me. Mostly, I go on, Jehovah says go, I go, and he says stay, I stay. It's not that much different from any other person that's spirit-filled and trying to do what he says do, which it all stems from the first two commandments, or the greatest of all the commandments, which amount to love God with your whole heart, mind, soul, and spirit, and love your neighbor as yourself. Trying to do that sometimes has been a challenge, but ultimately it's been very rewarding. Anyway, my trip to Liberty, Michigan, or not Michigan, Liberty, Missouri. I keep saying Michigan. Anyway, Liberty, Missouri, was definitely interesting. It was not what I was expecting, although very few things that Jehovah God tells me to do seldom turn out the way I had expected. It's often full of many more blessings than I would ever have asked for or hoped for. There's a lot about my journey to the Fellowship of the Martyrs and then my journey home that I'm not going to cover here because it's just too long and too full of the many blessings that happened. Of course, at the time, he was definitely enlarging me, causing me to totally either abandon my faith or totally rely on him. You know, to be honest, I encourage everyone to pray because he answers prayer. And if he's not answering your prayers, find out why. And you can do that by literally getting into the scriptures and allowing them to penetrate and circumcise your heart. Liberty, Missouri. Well, I met with a few of the people there and made a few friends like Patrick and Israel and let's see, Peter, which is a nice guy. He's really something else. Not what you would expect. I suppose people look at me and go, wow, he's kind of out there. He's a little bit scary looking. I can definitely relate to why they might think that. But to be honest, the martyrs, they're just a bunch of people trying to do the best they can. They're trying to demonstrate their love for God and their love for each other, and while they learn, just like everybody learns. So I mean, if you're expecting a Christian utopia, I would encourage you to rethink your position on that, and to pray and ask God to prepare you for the trip and what you'll find. Because ultimately everything we do should be to the glory of God, should be for the edification of Christ. That's really what we're supposed to be doing anyway. Is making disciples of all men, and literally coming together as brothers and sharpening one another and upbuilding one another and helping each other to be joyous and at peace at all times. If you come or to go with the heart of a servant, looking for ways to serve, looking for ways to glorify God, and count everything as joy that happens to you, and relate your testimony once you get there, I see you becoming more than you are, or more than you were, and really adding to their ministry, adding to what they're trying to do. As to them being a cult, well, I can tell you no, but that's one man's opinion. That's something that I also prayed about. I don't know if you take it seriously or you believe in this, but it was one of the things that, when I asked directly, that God said, hey, no, they're not a cult. He's, he really hears from me. That would be Doug, of course, and others that are there. And I was told very specifically, I know it's going to be hard, but don't say anything good or bad, to the man directly. Just don't do it. So I'm like, okay, give me a minute to take all this in and to really try to digest this. Like I said, if you're looking for a Christian utopia, I don't encourage you to go, because there are things at Liberty that are not perfect, and it's clear that you can see that when you get there, but to be honest, that gives us a wonderful opportunity to show the love of Christ, to try to be more than we are, and to try to really do everything as if we were doing it unto the Lord Jesus Christ, and literally take a stock in what is going on there, helping clean, helping prepare meals, helping do whatever needs to be done without grumbling, without accusation or feelings of, well, I'm important, or because it's not about that. Just earlier when Jesus was, actually in the scriptures, it speaks of where I was reading, where Jesus was talking about, how in the kingdom, positions of authority are a lot different than positions of authority on the world or in the world. His disciples at the time were trying to decide who was greatest among them, and he basically told them that in the kingdom it's not like that. It's when you truly desire to be great in the kingdom, you must become least among your brothers. In other words, you literally make yourself a servant to all. Because look at our example. Christ, if we want to be Christ-like, he made himself a servant to all. So a servant is not more than his master. So if he is truly our master, what does that say about what we should do and what kind of spirit we should have, in regards to other people? So even though when I went there, I was ministered to, and I was helped in a lot of things, and they prayed with me, and I felt their prayers, and there were things, even during the trip that I couldn't change for the world, and I wouldn't change, because it helped strengthen my faith, the faith of my children. The fact that they heard me pray prayers, they heard me stand on the Word of God, and things move, things happen. And then the loving kindness of just the family there and the sense of, yes, we're praying for you, we want you to come, you're out in the middle of nowhere, and we're with you, we're together on this, and that sense of, hey, we really do care, and that is very real, and that is very, very near and dear and special to my heart. But it's easy to get there and to say, wow, these people are, they're kind of different, and then just start picking apart the different parts of what is being done and what he's trying to do, and until you've literally taken what God is trying to do, and you're literally picking it apart until, in your mind, your eyes have been closed. I mean, literally, you're like, this is just not him. He's not in this. I know that, he said before I came that, this guy was hearing from me, and he's trying to do a great thing. But if you allow it, there's a lot of things that will want to come against you and want to whisper things in your ear like, these guys are just a bunch of bums or whatever. And, I mean, I would encourage you not to believe any of that and to pray for strength and wisdom. And to be honest, Jehovah God is raising up people all over the planet, because it talks about in the end days, he'll pour out his flesh, he'll pour out his spirit upon all flesh. Okay, that's what he's doing. I mean, there are lots and lots and lots of people that now feel an urgency to get out there and say, look, what's going on in the world isn't working. The religion that we're being shown is not the religion or the way things were meant to be, and we need to bring about a different way. And that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to say. They're saying, look, we just simply want to stand up for what's right, what's good, and what's true, in fulfillment of, the greatest of all commandments, which is love God with your whole heart, mind, soul, and spirit, and love your neighbor as yourself. Anyway, I thank Doug and thank everyone there. I'm not real good with names. I really feel blessed for meeting Chucky, I believe, or Chuck. Hopefully that didn't come out wrong. He's a nice young man. I was given a very specific word for him, and I was told that was pretty much a lot of the reason why I was there. I would encourage him to spread that word that I gave him, and or that God gave him, because literally when I get a word from God, it's pretty intense, and I can speak with a lot of conviction and less fumbling and less of me, which is a good thing, because my memory is such that I can't remember 10 minutes from the next. It's really not a good thing, but to be honest, he is perfected in my weakness. He is magnified through my shortcomings. I'm very thankful for having the opportunity, being called to go up there, being called to do what we did. We went up there. It took us a couple days to get up there. It took us a couple days to get back. It was an extremely brief visit for us, but I feel that I've made some very, very good friends. And I'd like to thank David as well. He was very nice and very decent. And one of the things that I would like to point out was that I was going up there for refreshment. I was going up there because I've been looking for people that really believe what the Bible said when it said, hey, we need to love each other as Christ loved the church, as Christ loved us, and he loved us so much that he was willing to give his life for us. I mean, the Bible goes on to talk about, if we have love for one another, yet we say we hate our brother, the love of God is within us. That's another subject, but I'd like to encourage you, if you want to show love for your brother and you want to be loved, by all means, go up there and be a part of that. I'm going to cut this short. He really moved in the fact that even before I got there, he had refreshed my soul, with the, I don't know how to put this in poetic terms or politically correct, but there was a young man named Dave, like I was just saying. He shows up, and I'm in the back of the truck, or towards the back of the truck, and I'm like, hey, I'm on empty, I don't have anything left. I mean, what am I supposed to do now? And he basically drove us through a good part of the state, and I got my refreshment and my upbuilding and everything that I asked for even before I got to Liberty. And God is just so faithful that He was telling me that as long as you do what I'm telling you to do, in every way acknowledge me, He really will make your path straight, make every wrinkle in your life smooth right out. And I would encourage everyone to wholeheartedly do the first or the two greatest of all commands, which is love God with your whole heart, mind, soul, and spirit, and love your neighbor as yourself. And I can see you, desiring to at least call and give Doug your testimony, and let the brothers up there know that you care. And I hope that there's many more individuals out there that contact their churches and they just bring about an awakening of God's Spirit and the things of God, and something that's done in truth and done correctly so that it sets people free instead of puts them under more bondage. Okay, well, my son's yawning, and so that he doesn't drop the camera, I'm going to call this one quits, and there again, I thank everybody from Liberty, and that tail is probably the tail of my cat. That's just right. He's saying, hey, show me some love, show me some attention, because I'm your cat. Anyway, there's so many things that I can tell you that you may or may not believe, but one thing that I hope you believe is that we serve a living God. I mean, it's worth doing because He answers prayer, He takes care of His people, and Christ is real. I mean, He loves us, and He's worth obeying. Thanks, guys.